Dobry wieczór.
Good evening. Keynote speech that sounds terribly responsible. I do have something prepared, but I'll be rather brief. As Linda mentioned the most salient points, I will just share my personal view, my personal insights with you. In Czech, I need my remarks written in Czech to be grammatically correct, at least. So the text is the following. Hello, thank you for having me. In 1989, I shot a film called Europe, Europe. Back then, Europe went through major changes. With the solidarity movement, the Soviet Union started to fall apart, with many walls falling down with the end of Ceausescu, with the reunification in Germany and the enlargement of the European Union following. In Poland, we had the first free elections. At the same time, however, in China, at the Tiananmen Square, we saw the protests being cracked down heavily, and some started to mention the end of history. Sorry, I got lost in my notes. The film I mentioned was about the Holocaust, my second one about this topic. It featured a real story of a young Jew who fled to Poland and afterwards to the USSR, where he started to be a devout Stalinist. When he was held captive by the Germans, he pretended to be a devout Nazi and integrated the Hitlerjugend movement. And he indeed became a fanatic Nazi. However, he was a Jew, and as a Jew he was circumvented, and as such he couldn't forget about his origin. That was a story I wanted to depict in a film, so that we don't forget about such murderers and such people. And also because I believe that the Second World War showed the worst of what the humanity is capable of, and that such evil is never away, and that hopes that we were given can always end. I opted for the name Europe, Europe, because I wanted to express the dual character of Europe. On one hand, Europe is home of democracy, human rights and solidarity. On the other hand, some of the worst crimes against humanity took place on this very continent. Over the last 20 years, I've been feeling that democracy is going through a very deep crisis, and that we are seeing things similar to the 1930s. With one major difference, the internet, which only gave the evil forces very strong tools to propagate evil that can spread evil rapidly across the whole globe. The world today has become incredibly complex. In the modern times, we grew very confused. So sometimes it's tempting to believe those with easy answers to difficult questions, populists and leaders of conspiracy movements. Sometimes we are also too lazy to sacrifice our own comfort in favor of democracy or good things. The role of filmmakers. What is the role of filmmakers in this crisis? We can spark emotions, we can show the beauty of the world, we can transgress borders of our own social bubbles. To me, it seems, however, that filmmakers gave up this role. They escaped this very important role through showing very easy films. Because sometimes it is simply very difficult, also financial-wise, to shoot courageous films. So those courageous films can be found mainly in documentaries. And festivals like One World are incredibly important to spread empathy and similar values. And these are values that will decide about the future of Europe, just like the migration issue and our fear from the unknown, because this fear actually only encloses us in this European stronghold. I believe, or we believe, that building walls can protect us from changes that we're not ready for. When we're choosing between comfort and human rights, equality and respect, these are choices that we'll be faced with more and more frequently. But when I look at the current tendencies in European politics, I am afraid that we will not only lose those important values, but also our comfort. Because monsters are now at the helm of many countries. War is here again, and we can see with it that we can also lose everything, just like those seeking refuge in our countries. And that's one of the topics depicted in my last film, The Green Border. We didn't manage to change the world or the politics of my country with this film, but we might have managed to change the viewpoint of some viewers and wake their consciousness, which I think is the most precious thing. Thank you. Thank you, Agnieszka. Thank you very much.